Happy Friday, everyone! It's Inclusion Week! Today we are summarizing what we've learned about how our brains work. We call this neurodivergence. It just means that there isn't one right way for our brain to be built.
Is it like some people like chocolate and some like vanilla?
Exactly, Sam. Just like we have different tastes, we have different wiring. To remember our different brains, let's sing our favorite song.
You are you and that's enough. Even when the days feel tough, side by side we'll always stay. Different minds will lead the way. You can stand under our umbrella. Ella, Ella, eh, eh, eh.
That was beautiful. Now we've been learning a lot this week. Who can tell me what are some of the neurodivergent conditions we've talked about?
ADHD, like when your brain has a lot of go power.
Dyslexia, my brother has that. It means letters likes to dance on a page.
Autism.
Spot on. Does having one of these conditions make you wrong or weird?
No.
Right. We don't want anyone to be exactly the same. We want equity. That means everyone gets the specific support they need to succeed. First up, ADHD. What do we remember about it?
Is it when your brain is like a fast car but with bicycle brakes?
That's a great way to put it, Maya. ADHD often presents as a struggle with executive function. That's our brain's manager who helps us plan and pay attention. For people with ADHD, the world can feel like a roller coaster of successes and failures. Sometimes they are hyper-focused on something they love, and other times their brain just wants to go on an adventure.
Does it mean they don't listen to you, Teacher Maria?
Oh, they're listening, Leo. But their brain is picking up every sound. The bird outside, the clock ticking, and me, all the same volume. That's why a big barrier for ADHD students is a noisy, cluttered room. It makes it physically exhausting to find my voice in all that noise.
Is that why Sam uses that big headphones?
Exactly. This is a great support. We also use evidence-based strategies like visual timers, which show how much time is left, and wiggle breaks, so our bodies can move while our brains work.
If I have a wiggle seat, can I bounce all the way to lunch?
You can bounce until lunch. Another barrier is a judgment people feel when they can't sit still. Jessica McCabe, who has ADHD, says the best help is simply being understood and accepted for who we are. When we stop seeing wiggling as a problem and start seeing it as a way to help the brain think, we remove that barrier. Now, let's talk about autism. It presents as a different way of processing social information and sensory input.
If someone is autistic, can they see through walls like a superhero?
Not quite. But they often see and hear details we miss. Because their brains are so sensitive, some autistic people feel like an alien. Because a normal classroom can feel way too loud and bright for them.
Why doesn't Leo always look at me when I talk?
Great question, Maya. For many autistic people, looking at faces and listening at the same time is a huge barrier. It's like trying to do a math test while someone set off fireworks. By looking away, they can actually hear you much better.
Sometimes I just want to be by myself.
And that's okay, Leo. A big barrier for autistic students is a social exhaustion or trying to act like everyone else. Research shows that many students stay quiet or hide their autism because they are afraid of being treated differently.
How can we be better friends then?
We can provide supports like quiet zones, or noise-canceling headphones. We also use clear, direct words instead of guessing games. In a grown-up world, this ability to focus deeply is seen as a competitive advantage, because autistic people are often amazing at spotting patterns and solving hard problems. So, if I give Leo space, I'm helping his brain to be a pattern-spotting machine? Exactly. When we respect their space and their diagnosis, it helps them feel not guilty for being different and lets their strength shine. Today, we learned something special. I want to talk about OCD.
Is that obsessive cute dog?
I wish. It actually stands for Obsessive Compulsive Disorder. It means the brain gets stuck on a worry like a broken record and won't stop playing. And I'll tell you a secret. I have OCD.
You do?
Does it mean you have to wash your hands 1,000,000 times? For some people, yes. Symptoms can be things like needing to check the door lock over and over again, or feeling like things must be in a perfect line, or having scary thoughts that won't go away. These are obsessions. The things we do to try and make the worry stop, like checking or cleaning, are compulsions.
Does it make you feel tired?
Sometimes, Leo. A major barrier is that OCD makes you feel frozen. One teacher, Andrew Foreman, shared that he once got to school and just couldn't get out of his car because the rain triggered a sticky thought that made him feel unsafe. When your brain is busy fighting those thoughts, it's hard to focus on teaching or learning.
So how do we unstick the record?
We use supports. For many, it's talking to a doctor or using special bravery exercises. But for me, a huge help is music. Scientific studies show that music therapy helps unstick those thoughts and reduces the anxiety that comes with OCD. It's like the music gives my brain a smooth path to walk on instead of a sticky one. If we see you looking stuck, should we bring you your flute? That's a wonderful way to be an inclusive friend. Another barrier is the stigma, the fear that people will think we are weird. But as Andrew Foreman said, the best strategy is to lean into people who care for you. Now, let's talk about our inclusive classroom. We've learned that every brain is unique, but sometimes the way a room is built can be a barrier. But we want everyone to feel safe and powerful. What should we add to our dream classroom? A quiet zone with bean bags and noise-canceling headphones. Exactly. That helps with the sensory overload we talked about in autism and ADHD. What else?
Can we have those picture schedules on a wall? My brain gets stuck worrying about what's next. If I see the picture, I don't have to ask 1,000,000 times.
Great idea, Sam. That reduces anxiety for everyone. I want to choose how I show you what I know. Can I draw a comic strip instead of writing a big essay? Yes, Leo. This is equity in action. We are measuring your knowledge, not your ability to sit still and grip a pencil. Is this only for schools? What happens when we grow up? That is the best part. Adults in big offices are doing this too. They use productivity tools to help their ADHD brains stay organized, and they change their lighting to help autistic workers feel comfortable.
So if we learn to do it now, we'll be better bosses later?
Pretty much, Sam. You guys did an amazing job today. Remember, being a good friend means realizing that everyone's brain has its own rhythm. Whether it's Sam's high energy, Leo's quiet focus, or my sticky OCD thoughts. None of it is a mistake, it's just how we're made.
And we all fit under the umbrella.
Exactly. You know, I used to think my job was to help these kids to fit in, but I've realized that if plant isn't growing, you don't blame the plant, you should change the soil. That's what we are doing here. When we stop trying to fix the person and start fixing the room instead, everyone finally gets a chance to breathe. It's not always perfect, but as long as we keep listening to their stories, we are heading the right way. Happy Inclusion Week! See ya!
Happy Inclusion Week!
See ya!